All right, folks, it's the top of the hour here on elifemedia.net. I am your chocolate troglodyte on every Monday night. I am your boy Roland Bubba Grimes. Just wanted to say hi to some of my beautiful people out there. Miss Ashley Simon, one of my favorite students in the whole world. Ashley, thank you for checking in with me. And of course, I am looking forward to your podcast as you move forward in life. I hope I didn't spill all the beans, but if I did, Ashley, I still love you nonetheless. She said she was a little bit inspired by the work that we do, Miss LaTanya Michelle.
I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, I'm present to some and introduce to others. My lady friend from way back, someone that I have a distinct admiration for, all she do, all she be, all she means, and all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Miss LaTanya Michelle. How you doing, darling?
I'm doing great.
You doing good?
Yeah.
I'm going to put on my radio voice for you.
Hi, y'all.
You doing all right?
Oh, you going to change your voice for me?
You doing all right?
I'm doing fine. So does that mean I have to
Fabulous. Fabulous. I have to now find a charger for this contraption as well. Now, we're going to do a quick setup once again. Tell the folks what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Just in case you guys missed it earlier, our topic today, we have two of them. One is, can an alpha male and an alpha female exist in a relationship? And the strong independent woman title, I think it's time that we get rid of it. So I'm going to give you guys a number to call in. It's 240-455-5934. Make sure you please call in, even if it's just to say hi, give us a comment, let us know what you think. You ready, Roland?
Yeah, keep rolling.
So we're going to start in this alpha male and the alpha female.
Right.
Now, I have to be honest with you. For the longest, I thought for a while that an alpha female could not. There was no such thing as an alpha female.
All right, let's do this. Let's get a working definition
Of an alpha
for
female.
alpha dog right from the break. Let's get a working definition of that. What does
You,
that mean?
well, you
in
put
your
the word
world?
dog in it, so I think maybe you need to give the definition if you're going to put the dog in it.
Give me a definition of an alpha.
Okay. What I consider as an alpha, me. An alpha is someone who is a definite leader, someone that is very strong, someone's very dominant, someone that's very confident. A lot of people say that they're alphas, but that doesn't necessarily that means that they're an alpha. One of the things that I think that makes a person as an alpha is that they are a good leader, but they also can follow too.
Okay. Now, I had no concept of what that was when I was growing up.
Okay.
And what happened was I ended up purchasing two German Shepherds.
Uh-oh.
All right. One was Princess and one was Queenie.
Uh-oh.
Princess was the firstborn,
Okay.
and my girl Queenie was the lastborn.
Okay.
And I would often call the dogs in from outside, open the door, and Princess would be right at the door. And I said, come on in, right? And Princess would step 1 foot in, and Princess would come 100 miles an hour to the door and knock Princess out the way, and Queenie would come through the door, and Princess would move so that Queenie could come in. When I put food out, I put it right in front of Princess. Queenie would come flying in, Princess would back up, Queenie would start eating. Everything that we did, where both were involved, Queenie took an assertive, aggressive role, and Princess backed the funk up and let her do her thing. By nature.
By nature.
That is not the way I nurtured them.
By
They
nature,
did this by
because it's
nature.
too different, and some people are naturally like that.
Okay? So now, this is what I'm finding out. I have a sister. Her name is Sonia. I'm very, very fond of my sister. My sister is the oldest of the three of us in this litter,
Okay.
from my mama and my daddy. And there is no question, unquestionably, when Big Sis says something, does something, move, we automatically line up. There's not even a discussion, there's no discrepancy, and we automatically follow Big Sis's lead. When she says something, we shut it. One day we were messing around. Then we grown. We were in our 40s, right? We were cutting up. And she said, that's enough. Y'all stop. And me and my sister went, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? Okay. So, by working definition, I do believe that alpha is something that is a character trait that is sometimes born into a person, especially when they are the oldest of a gender or the oldest of the litter, right? Second thing that alpha, working definition, is this assertive or aggressive male or female, regardless of where they were born, they just want some. They're just...
Is it want some, or are they like automatically go-getters?
Okay.
Are they like automatically go-getters, or that want some?
Okay. I'm asking you. In my observation, I said they want some. Do you feel that they're just automated go-getters?
I think we're automatic go-getters.
You said we. Now see, you slipped that we in there.
I would say,
where did that we come from?
because I think you have to admit what you are. You have to admit what you are, and as much as I try to deny it or try to act like I'm not, I do believe that I'm an alpha woman.
Okay, so let's go with it then. So now, can an alpha woman and alpha male coexist?
They can.
Now, I was married to an alpha female.
They can.
And unfortunately, we alphaed each other right out of a relationship. So you said they can. I say they can't. Let's talk about it, because I believe that alpha needs a beta, and a beta needs an alpha. Talk about it.
And that's why I made the comment earlier, is that a true leader knows when to follow. No, because a leader cannot lead at all times. A leader does not know everything, and sometimes a leader has to sit back and take a spot and let somebody else lead.
Right, but one of the challenges with a leader is that a leader often presumes the responsibility of deciding when to lead and when not to lead.
And see, that's the issue.
And if the other person is like, nah, I don't want to lead this one, and the alpha's like, yeah, you are leading, you get my point?
That's the difference. That's why it's so important. If there's an alpha male and an alpha female existing, it's got to be a respect.
Okay.
You have to be at a point where, as an alpha, it's okay, because that's something that you're naturally born with.
Okay, look, you're not going.
I'm not sugarcoating. I'm being dead
not,
serious.
No,
okay,
not,
go ahead.
Right, we're not doing abstract. I don't even know what respect is. On the Rolling Grimes show, we're going to define, and we're going to talk about what that is.
Okay.
So we said it has to be respect. What is respect?
Okay, so let me say this. Let me help you out. Now, it's a difference when you're an alpha male and you love yourself, and an alpha female when you love yourself and you can understand you're good, you're bad, and you're ugly. Because there's a difference. Because I could walk around. The old Tanya was an alpha female who didn't give a dang. I didn't even really have respect for men, because I thought most of them were stupid.
Okay, give me a scenario of one of your disrespectful ways or moments. What did that look like?
Just men in general talking. Some of them just would talk, and I just automatically like, why are you talking? So or because it seems like, like when men talk about, I need to be a drug dealer to survive, or I ended up in jail because I did this or whatever, but yet and still you have women who was working 3 jobs, 4 jobs, legal jobs to make things happen.
Okay, so you would nullify, disengage a man right in the middle of a conversation with no
Almost
consideration.
Definitely. I don't like excuses. No
consideration for whatever it is that he's saying.
Back in the days, I just didn't like excuses.
Okay.
I didn't think that I was allowed to have excuses. So for a man to be a man in the head and come up to say, come up with an excuse, well, I did this, yeah.
Okay, so when you felt like they were coming up with an excuse, that's when you became disrespectful. But when you
I've never disrespect. I don't disrespect people as a whole. I'm not gonna come up to you and be like you a punk or something like that. Right. I just cut you off.
They give you a reason.
Yeah, I just in my mind it's like, yeah, whatever. I ain't got nothing really.
Okay.
You're just talking.
So now, the alpha people that I've come across most of my life were very forceful in the way they operated. In other words, they set the tone and tenor for everything. So even before you opened your mouth, essentially they would let you know how you're going to come at them, period. How, were you that way?
I wasn't, because I was in the military, so I knew how to be politically correct. I know how to play the game to get it my way.
Okay.
I would make you I would be able to convince you to give it to me my way without you knowing that you was giving it to me.
Okay. So you were a smooth criminal.
Very much so.
All right, so now you have an alpha female that's a smooth criminal, and can that exist with alpha male? So how is it that, okay, you alpha A, I'm alpha B. All
Okay.
right, let's get into it. All
Okay.
right? So
Gotcha.
how do we correlate? How do we coexist? For example, before the show came on, I ran a test because I knew what you were going to talk about. Intuitively, I knew. So what I wanted to do was set things up in the order and the tone and tenor that I wanted to set it up.
Okay.
You wasn't going to let me do that. Why not?
Because you told me this was my show for an hour. We was going to do my show for an hour.
Okay, so how's it working out?
It's working out really good because you know why it works
No,
out
why is
really
it
well?
working out?
I'm going to tell you why it was. Because I'm not that old person that I used to be.
Okay.
And I know what teamwork is. And I don't have to be the center of the show.
Okay, so if an alpha female used to be the kind of person that just cut me at the knees and she stopped doing that, then we probably could coexist.
But that's because the alpha female can, you know, just because we're one way normally, naturally, because there's a lot of things that we don't even know that we're doing, we still have to be able to tap into ourselves and know our good, bad, and ugly. And when you learn that and you learn to love yourself, you begin to know, I'm still going to get my way. I can give it in to you. I could be Robin. Baby, you hear me talking about Robin. But anyways, I could be Robin. Or I could be Batman. None of your business.
Baby.
None of your business. Anyways, I could be Batman and I could be Robin. And either way, it's going to be a win-win situation for me.
You can't be baby. You
I'm sorry.
You're not qualifying who baby is.
Anyways, so a true alpha woman knows about the winning situation.
Okay, so let me share this with you. This is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
What you just gave me were conditions. You also gave me experience. You also gave me exposure. You also gave me some transformation.
Yes.
In the raw alpha female, before all of that intervention took place,
Yes.
can a raw alpha female funk with a raw alpha male?
A raw alpha female.
Latanya, one that is not as refined as you're talking. Because now you're talking about an alpha female that has a smooth groove. That's not what we're referring to. We're referring to the alpha female who is 100% alpha female and the alpha male who's 100% alpha male. Can they coexist, my darling, without that additional intervention?
I don't think so. But let me say this on that. A true alpha female is what you're talking about is a miserable woman. And she probably consider herself a strong, independent woman, and she's probably miserable.
Why? Why is she miserable?
Because in most cases, she is so caught up in everything that probably happened to her that she has these walls up, that she defends herself, so she automatically goes into the bulldog mode. She could be the sharpest sister with some stilettos on, the best suits, the best businesswoman. But because of her hurt and her past damage, she has this wall up, so she feels like she has to defend everything that she does and stuff. So she becomes this woman who, I'm not going to take no mess from nobody. I can do this all by myself and everything. And she also is probably one of those women who sits home by herself crying, wondering if I'm ever going to find a man, even though she's telling everybody else I don't need a man. So there's a big difference.
Okay, so I'm going to try this one more time.
So did I? No, they cannot coexist.
Okay, so I'm going to try this one more time.
Healthy.
And from this moment on, if you do continue to take a therapeutic hue in the conversation,
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
You gonna cut me off?
No. This is your thing. This is your party, right? All I'm saying though is, if you continue to take a therapeutic hue into our conversation, then I'm gonna go into a therapeutic mode with you. So I'm gonna go back again. All right. Before the hurt, before the injury, before all of the damage. Are you saying to me that a female is more often than not an alpha female because she's designed to be that way by her life experiences, or is she an alpha female and can she be an alpha female 100% in the raw before all the therapeutic intervention and be able to coexist with an alpha male?
I don't think so. Because I don't think the woman was ever created to be an alpha anything. The truth. I just don't. I'm one of those who believe in people have their roles. And I just don't believe that a woman, don't get me wrong, y'all still, we need to have our own businesses and run our stuff and take care of the homes and the kids and everything. But I just don't believe
qualified disclaimer, she just gave it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just don't believe that a woman was created to be, this alpha hardcore person and the boss of everything and the boss over a man and all that stuff. Lord have mercy, I'm about to lose some fans, but it's the truth. Hey, y'all.
So what was a woman created to be then?
Oh, Lord. Here we go. So I'm about to really lose. Okay, can we go back to, let's go back to something for a second because
let's go back.
I want to straighten it out.
All right, straighten it.
Why I believe that an alpha woman and an alpha man can coexist.
Can coexist.
Can.
All right, the people are looking at the wall. Give them to you. There you go, baby.
Okay, sorry.
All right, let's talk
Can
about
coexist.
Can coexist.
I believe that a true, if we're going to use that title, which probably is a sorry title, but if we're going to use that title, alpha woman, I believe an alpha woman is a great, like I said, is a great leader. She's a great mother. She's a great nurturer.
Okay.
Keep
going.
Listen, she's a great, Michelle Obama is an example of an alpha woman if I had to give somebody. Michelle Obama can run anything that she wants to, but you always see Michelle, she respects her husband, she respects her man, and she protects her man.
Okay, so what she does is she defers some of her authority and power over to Barack.
She does.
All right, so she's not functioning like an alpha female in that situation,
in that position.
even though she is, right?
Exactly. She's not functioning when it comes to her husband and her relationship as a wife.
Okay. Do you think that's partly because you can go ahead and put that back down there so that you can groove? So put it on you. Don't worry about me, because
can y'all see? Okay.
Yeah, because they're hear me. They need to see you. All right. So if she doesn't defer some of that authority and power over to him, what would happen?
Oh, it would be trouble.
Okay.
It would be. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure behind closed doors, Michelle got something to say, but Michelle also knows. There's a place for everything.
Okay. So, walk me through the scenario, sweetie.
Okay.
You have an alpha female who has a vibration to lead, to sometimes dominate, and she wants it her way or no way. Now, in the raw,
I don't know. Alpha always has to have. I think alpha is supposed to have a winning attitude. It doesn't always have.
Right, we're not talking about what she's supposed to have. We're talking about what she has.
Okay, go ahead.
By definition.
I'm listening.
All right.
I'm listening.
By definition, you have a male that is just the same. Mm-hmm. So now, here we go. Is it oatmeal raisin or is it chocolate chip? Now, something as simple as that. Mm-hmm. Is it missionary or is it the other direction? Or is it cowgirl? So what happens is the alpha male is going to jockey, move, and slide things in a position where if his desire is chocolate chip and cowgirl, then he's going to push that.
Most definitely.
The alpha female, if her desire is oatmeal raisin and missionary, then she's going to push that. So now you have this problem in the boardroom and you have this problem in the bedroom. Because both of them, by nature or by nurture or by both, are taking the lead position. In other words, they're battling for space and place. And if they're not given it, then they often feel disrespected by the other one. Well, why don't you ever give me what I want, et cetera, et cetera. So you get that. Now, you alpha folks out there listening, don't front.
Please call in.
Yeah, just let us know. Is this what happens? I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I have. And I'm not talking about in my marriage. I'm just saying in general. I have experienced situations with females who are alpha coordinates. And I'm telling you that in every situation, it was like a root canal. In the boardroom, all the way to the bedroom. It was a constant jockeying back and forth of who was going to take what role, who was going to get satisfied, and who was going to not have the preeminent position in everything that we did.
So you would never date an alpha female?
No,
Or no. Do you consider yourself an alpha male?
Oh, no question.
Okay. So you would never date an alpha female?
No, I would marry an alpha female.
Would you consider me an alpha female?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said earlier, we got this confused.
Yeah, but I'm answering your question. Would I? Yes. Can we coexist? Hell to the no.
You don't think so?
No.
So why would you marry somebody that you can't coexist with?
I know. That don't make no sense, does it? Because that's what I'm
Society.
attracted to.
But that doesn't make sense. Why
No,
would you
that's
want
what
to
I'm
be
attracted to.
someone that you...
Man, look, okay, you folks out there in Facebook land, are you attracted to people that you know you can coexist with, or are you attracted to what you're attracted to? I'm attracted to leaders because there's something in me that digs leadership. I'm attracted to dominant women because there's something in me that likes to see that.
So you're going to tell me that you actually think that because a woman is dominant or whatever, that she would make a good mate?
And therein lies the opportunity. Can we decide in real time, in spontaneity, and in script, what aspects she's going to be dominant in, and what aspects I'm going to be dominant in? Can we walk into that boardroom or that bedroom, and can we decide beforehand what position to take, or while we're in that moment, can we? One of us acquiesce and the other take that upper position, or vice versa. Can we do that with our chemistry?
Well, you got to have the chemistry. If you
I'm just saying that's the only way.
Nothing
well,
works
alpha
unless you have the
well,
chemistry.
this is what I'm saying to you. Alpha and a beta, to me, already has natural chemistry.
I don't
because
necessarily think so, because let me tell you something.
Okay.
I can't deal with a beta man.
Why not?
Because you don't have a backbone. You gonna let me
No,
walk
that's not
over.
true. That's not true. That's not the definition of beta.
Okay, this is in dating. This is in dating.
All right, talk to him.
Business, yeah, cool, whatever.
Okay, talk to him.
But in dating,
Okay.
I don't.
You would walk all over him. He's smiling. You think a beta male is spineless?
I wouldn't walk over him on purpose or whatever, but I would find myself struggling because I like a strong man. I like a dominant man. I like someone who basically, don't take me the wrong way when I say this, but I like someone who could be like, Tanya, I'm going to need you to be quiet for a second.
Well, I did that earlier. I did Tanya.
And what I
Sit
do.
your butt down.
And what I do.
Right. So here's the thing.
This is what I do. I sat my tail down and I got my way.
I'm a quintessential alpha male.
Okay.
Right? Right off the break.
Okay.
However, we could coexist in developing any scenario we want to coexist in, right? Mm-hmm. This beta male that you're referring to as spineless, and I'm not sure. Well,
go ahead.
You get my point.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that if you have someone that flows, what is the yin and yang? If you have someone that flows consistently with you, is it that difficult because an alpha female needs a man that is an alpha male, or she won't know her range? Does she need? You know what? Maybe that's a good question. Does an alpha female need an alpha male in order for her to feel protected, provided for, safe and sound?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so who does the beta date? The beta dates a beta? You don't care.
Know.
Look at
I don't
you.
know. I don't care. I'm talking about me.
I don't even hang out with betas.
I don't. Like I really don't. Like I just feel like where I'm trying to go in my life that I need to be around alphas, because I know that alphas, they're not going to let me fall, for one thing. They're going to pull me and they're going to hold me accountable and stuff. You know, and some people just have the beta, they have the alpha trait. They may be betas, but they have a little of the alpha trait or whatever. But I need the people that's going to pull me.
Okay.
And that I don't have to constantly tell you what to do. I don't want to think for nobody. And I raised my son. My son is 26. I don't want to raise a man. I don't want to tell a man how to be a man because I don't know how to be a man.
Y'all raising, never mind.
Go ahead.
That's the next point. So, in summary or in conclusion, have we decided that an alpha male and alpha female can coexist, or they can only coexist if there are pre-existing conditions?
I don't think we defined a true definition of what an alpha woman is, because you say one thing, I say another. Mm-hmm. I think a true alpha, anyways, you think they have to win at all times. I mean, they have to have it their way. I think a true alpha just likes to win. It doesn't necessarily have to be their way, because an alpha is not going to always be the leader. They're not going to always be the boss, but yet and still they're going to always be in a situation where they're winning. A true alpha knows how to be a team player, and they may have to boss people around, or they may find a way to be charming and politically correct to make it work, but they're going to make it work for them, whether they are the leader or they're sitting just a member of the team. They going to get their credit.
Now, based on that definition, mm-hmm. we have a slightly different definition of what alpha is. And I've been around some alpha males, and I damn near want to fight them jokers every day. All right? And until they started to change how they were operated, I damn near fought them jokers every day, because I was alpha male, and they were alpha males, and it was a constant ripping. It was a constant battle, constant jockeying for position. Constant, you right, I'm wrong. I'm right, you wrong. Constant. But that hasn't been your experience, huh?
But no, it has.
And this is with dudes.
No, listen. I experience what you experience all the time. Okay. But like I said, remember I told you that I don't necessarily have respect for certain people? Okay. You can sit there and tell me you're an alpha male all you want. Okay. But if you show me something different, you're just an insecure insecure man who's saying what you are. Okay. Because my thing is, just like you came up in here, I came up in here, taking over your station like I'm here. Like that's supposed to mean something. It meant something to me, so I was making sure y'all knew it meant something to y'all, right? I'm running my mouth like you know that I do, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we come in here, you tell me to sit down, we work it out, and look at us flowing like crazy. Look at that. It has nothing to do with anything but.
But tell me something now.
What's that?
We're professionals.
No, but it ain't got nothing to do with professionals.
You don't think so?
Because no, it doesn't have nothing to do with being professional. It's the fact that you are confident in who you are, and you know that this is your studio, this is your show, all right, and I'm confident because I know that Roland respects me for what I do. Awesome. So together we flow.
Okay. So then let me give you some further clarification, my dear. Okay. I've been doing this engineering part of eLife Media for the last 6 or 7 months. Mm-hmm. And half of the women that come in here are alpha females. Mm-hmm. And I want to throw half of them out that window.
Exactly. Why didn't you throw me out? Why didn't you invite me to your show?
The reason why is because from early on, when we first made a connection, you and I had by tongue alone a similar desire for people, places, and things. So as long as we didn't do something to short circuit each other, like get into something we had no business getting into, mm-hmm. and we stayed on that track, for example, we might not travel well together at all, because you'd be like, I wonder when I'm going to, I wonder when I want to out. Right. Exactly. But as long as we stayed where we were and did what we do, we have a wonderful blend. I sat here and watched you one day when I invited you to my show, and I couldn't be here because I had another commitment. And you broke on me. You was like, oh, when Roland gets there, I'm going to kick his butt. I've never heard somebody say they're going to kick my butt. Since I was like 9.
On your show.
No, since I was 9. They kick my butt. People don't say that. I'm just
serious.
Saying. Huh?
I'm serious.
My cry 2 tears in the bucket.
I'm serious.
I got you.
How you gonna have me come to your show and you rolling Grimes? That's just like Prince invited me to his house and he ain't there.
Because and the reason why is because you understand the genius in the move. You deserved full time, an opportunity to say what it is you had to say without my interference, and we get that on record. Because when I'm on the scene, it's my show. And because I'm an alpha dog, it's going to be my show. Right. So I wanted you in the presence of my co-host, who y'all had a I mean, y'all had a wonderful blend. Ron and I were listening to it on our way to the function. We were like, wow. We were like, yo, that's a set. And if you weren't leaving, I'd be trying to talk you into doing a show with them because it was electric, right? But understand, it really came from our first communication together. And I said, okay, I said to myself, we have some similarities. Let's stay in the lane. Let's do this, and we're cool. Now, other alpha females who come in here that I don't know as well, oh my goodness gracious.
But that goes back to, it's a difference. You know, we're so caught up in this society where we take titles. We take these dang titles and we have these issues within ourselves and stuff like that, and we put them on other people and stuff.
My cookie, oatmeal raisin today. She had chocolate chip.
I had Jack. Y'all, you know I come up in this place and y'all never feed me. So
all right, so let me tell you what's happening. So Tina said yes, they can, with sincere respect, communication, and an open mind and heart.
It is.
Are y'all making me nauseous with all this?
No, but you
opinions
know what?
will differ, but Shauna, opinions will differ, but as long as they can agree. Communication is the blah, 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 blah. Communication is key and understanding. Alpha males don't have much communication and understanding.
They do. Let me tell you, you meet the right one, you meet that right woman, you meet that right alpha woman, you will go out of your way to make sure not only is that she's protected and taken care of, but that she also gets her spotlight and everything. Okay. And you still gonna get your
alpha males don't have much understanding on communication. We have one-way communication and we have very narrow understanding.
Check this out. And the alpha woman, guess what, is gonna cater to your tail that you're not even gonna realize that you're giving her what she wants.
Okay, what you talking about maneuverability?
You know, so
I mean,
let's keep this real. So a true confident alpha male and a true confident alpha woman.
But by definition,
music together.
But by definition, she's confident. By definition, he's confident. That's why they're alphas, right?
No, that's not true.
No?
They're supposed to be. They're supposed to be.
So do you know an alpha male that's not confident?
I know quite a few of them. I know quite a few of them. They're cocky. They're arrogant. I know quite. That's why we got these issues. That's why people can't get along because they're so stuck on me.
So maybe I owe you an apology because my working definition for alpha is a little bit different. Mine is that all of your phone is doing its thing. Did it go out?
It died.
It died.
That's okay.
Oh man. So my definition of alpha is all of those things, those traits and qualities that you talk about. That the alpha has those things. That's why they're defined as alpha. They have confidence. They have leadership. They have domineering, domination, authoritarian, authoritative. That's what makes them alpha. In other words, they're not an alpha male and doesn't have these characteristics. They have these characteristics. Therefore, they're an alpha male.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
All those women that you walk in here that get on your nerves.
Oh my goodness gracious! They walk out of here and run every man they talk to.
Crazy. And do you consider them confident?
Very much so.
Is it confident or?
Very confident.
Is it really confident or is it arrogant?
I'm answering your question, darling. Very confident. Oh. Now here's the thing. Now this is something. This is something, Latanya, that has surfaced for me. That go ahead. You can mess with it. This is something, and I'll kind of talk to the people as we do this. This is something that has surfaced for me. What a person is and how they operate is sometimes not based on what they are internally, as much as it is the external temperament that they demonstrate. So, for example, if I'm, and this has happened to even you, where you ordered food, came back, it was the wrong food. Okay. Alpha, in each one of them situations, first temperament was, you know what? This is what I ordered. This is what I ordered. This is the wrong food. Can you do me a favor? Take this back and give me a new order. And thank you very much. Then there's the next temperament. This is not what I ordered. Can you take this back and please bring me back what it is that I asked for? Same person. Same person.
Okay.
Then there's the third temperament. Damn it, every time I come in here, you give me the wrong stuff. You know what? I'm about sick of it. Every time I go out and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. And the same person, same scenario, same situation, but the temperament is different. Now, a person is confident, and I played football with a whole lot of confident people, but how they display their confidence changed depending upon their temperament in that situation. But they still were confident.
Excuse me. What's your definition of confidence?
First off, take the root word fide, F-I-D, fidelity, okay? Which means belief and faith.
Okay.
With con in oneself.
Okay.
Faith and belief in oneself is my definition of confidence.
What's the definition of arrogance?
So, yeah, we good. So by definition, I say arrogance is a person's desire and practice of being condescending and or belligerent without cause or provocation.
So
they walk in the door like, get your butt up. I'm getting ready to go sit. That's arrogance.
So didn't you just talk about the women that come up in here?
Yes.
Are they confident or are they arrogant?
Very confident.
Are there any arrogance to it?
No. Confident and assertive, but alpha.
Okay.
And drive me nuts.
Okay.
They don't drive me nuts because they're arrogant. Because if they came in arrogant, then what we do is walk outside and have a conversation. Because you're just not going to come in here and start bogarting. That's not going to happen.
So do you believe a confident person has got to be forceful?
No, confident person doesn't have to be forceful. Confident person can be any of those things. They can be mild-mannered and still be confident. You can be alpha and not yell. You can be alpha and yell. The manifestation of that those character traits, LaTanya, the manifestation of it can vary from person to person, situation to situation. Okay. But they still are what they are. A person who lacks confidence is going to say, you know what, I've never done this before. I don't really know if I can handle it. Okay. So they lack confidence in that situation.
Will a person with confidence say, you know what, I'm just going to eat this food because I don't feel like being bothered? Is that a person that's not confident? Because I know some alpha people who would do that.
Man, I don't. In that situation, they just use a temperament of what do you call it? Almost like a de facto position.
Degree in psychology. Because the terminology.
They basically they withdrew from the situation.
Okay. So,
it's like
so
you and I get into it, and I say, you know what? I'd rather just walk away from the situation altogether. So it's the wrong food, but you know what? I'm just going to thank you. Here's a tip. I'm out.
Would an alpha do that though?
Yeah, alpha will do that too.
Okay.
Alpha will do any one of those 4 things that we talked about.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying to you, sweetheart, is that the character trait is the trait. How it manifests itself depends. Like you just asked for some water. Now I've seen people in here who are guests on my. I didn't
ask for nothing. He just went and got it for me. He was a gentleman.
Okay, play with the scenario.
Okay, we're playing with the scenario. But I did say thank you though. Right? See, okay.
Who have said, you know what? It would really be nice if there was some water on the table. All right. No different than the person says, you know what? Can I have some water? They both feel the same. It's just how it is displayed. You follow me?
Makes sense.
So in that situation, what you've seen with Michelle and Barack Obama is Michelle never ever seemed to usurp his position ever.
Ever.
Now, here's an example. Well, no, I'm not going to get into that. Let's switch focus real quick. And folks, however you feel, whatever you think, call in 240-455-5934. But let's get into the second part of this as the rest of the crew comes in. And since you're here, you might as well stick around with us. So it kind of goes like this. What is up with this strong black independent woman thing?
Okay, so
I'm gonna put the spotlight on you because I don't want people to see my face as you talk about it.
Okay, so this is my thing. Why is it just black women go by that title, strong independent woman? Why don't you ever hear Chinese people or white women or any of that, saying that. And then also, independent. Are any of us really independent? Can any of us do any of this stuff by ourselves?
It's just rhetorical.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I used to love that title. I used to love that title, strong, independent woman. But then I realized that strong, independent woman was a miserable, angry.
That's a very good point.
Woman.
No.
Okay,
no. Let me hear it again. That independent, strong black woman is a what?
Was angry and.
You have changed in the last decade.
I haven't changed. I've been like this since you've known me.
I said last decade.
Okay, decade. I have. You have to. You have got to change.
Oh my God! I am so. You know what? I think I'm gonna cry. No, because I'm telling you, the sisters. I'd like hold no hope out there that they'll ever get it. So here's the thing. First is this strong black independent thing. You say, how come other cultures don't do that, right? Mm-hmm. Other cultures don't do it because they're not raised that way.
Exactly.
Mama, grandma, and them are raising strong black independent women. First thing they tell them is, you have to be able to do so that you never have to depend on no what? Man. And then daddy raises the daughter the same way, right? So that you don't have to ever depend on a what?
Man.
A man. How many Asians raise their kids so they don't raise their daughters so they don't ever have to depend on a man? None. How many Jews do that? None. Because if you don't depend on a man, if you don't have an interdependency or dependency on a man, one, it's very hard for him to protect you. It's very hard for him to provide for you. And it's very hard for y'all to create children.
True.
Right?
True.
Because you're not going to stay in a relationship.
But you know what? You sit and say that they raised us. I always thought that we was raised to not think for ourselves. This is kind of crazy to me. I always thought we were supposed to have the Barbie house, to have the Ken and the white picket fence. That's what I always thought.
Yeah, that was prior to the 60s. So if you had an older person,
okay.
You might have had some of that.
Yeah.
Especially down south.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm from the south.
Right.
So
you may have had the white picket fence, dog, treat your man like this, and even if he tip out on you, he's still your man. Give him a
no
right.
matter what.
Yeah. You get across you get past the Mason-Dixon line.
It's different.
There's a whole nother part. There's a whole nother part.
Yeah. It's so sad because it seems like it's just our race or our
no, it doesn't seem like it is.
It is.
Right.
It's in our culture that the black man has no say so. Has no
nuts.
All
right. So here's the thing: strong black independent. You're born strong, but you develop more strength by nurture. You're black. You're born black, right? Independent from what? A job? Independent from a career? Independent from Jesus. Who you independent from? So when they say strong black independent woman, you know who she's independent from? It's not the job. It's not they're not independent from money. They're not independent from the Lord. They're not independent from other. What are they independent from?
It's just a title.
They're just a title that we have. Men.
Yeah.
So when you hear the word independent, the autonomic reference is that she's independent from a man.
But then that's what all of us want.
Why? Why do you want to be independent from a man?
No. That's what we all want is a man, not being independent from a man. We all.
Y'all don't want no man.
Yeah, no. And see, that's the thing. And see, that's the thing. We all play this game. Men want a woman. Everybody wants that one person. It just so happened we live in a society that it's screwed up or whatever. But you want that special woman. I want that special guy. We all want that. Or whatever, but because we live in this corrupt mind.
You want to make that special man.
No, I don't need to make nothing.
Okay, so let me restate.
I made one that
most women want to make a special man, and since she can't find him, she marries a son.
That's the problem. This is what you guys do. You guys put women in these categories.
Okay.
You want us to be different, but yet and still you constantly want to put us in this category like we're all the same. We're not. There's a lot of us that's different. A lot of us. It may have took us some time to be different, but we are different.
We're in agreement on that.
So we're going to agree about that one. So we're going to take
I deal with enough women to know that they're the same and different.
We have some same ways.
Yeah, there's some similarities,
but we're different.
And some differences. Right.
Even the ones who walk around saying that we're going back to what has got them the way that they are. They hooked up with a man who didn't really care about them, and they had a child, and the child, just so many different issues there. Their fathers wasn't there. Just like we talked about earlier, they're still stuck in this victim role. They're still playing this victim mentality instead of just looking in the mirror saying, hey, let me better me, let me be a better person, and let me live my life and not worry about.
Okay, so then we are the only group of people on the face of the earth who stay stuck and hurt.
That's because we're brainwashed. That's why I don't like to hang with betas. That's why I have to be around people who are going somewhere, who think differently, because if you continue to stay in the same situation that you are and you continue to hang out with people who's doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get stuck like that.
Okay, so part of what's happening, LaTanya, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Part of what's happening is, are men growing up to be strong, black, independent men?
I think men are to the point where they don't even give a crap no more.
LaTanya Michelle, let me ask you this question again. Are men growing up to be strong, black, independent men?
I'm not sure.
Are Jewish men growing up to be strong, Jewish, independent men?
Yes.
Are Asians?
Yes.
Are Africans?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we're here on this?
We're here on there.
Okay, now. So if the black male is not being nurtured and developed and has the mindset of being a strong, black, independent man, but the female is just the opposite. And in every other culture, it's the opposite, where the female isn't being raised to be a strong Asian independent woman, but the black female has embraced. If we did a random sample of 10,000 black women across the United States of America,
Wow.
and asked them through random sampling, do you aspire to be a strong black independent woman? Out of 10,000, how many of them do you think will say yes?
Probably 93%.
93%. You know, also 93% is very close to the single parenting ratio in our community.
Most definitely.
Okay. So now, it's not necessarily causation, but it's definitely correlation, right? Okay.
Gotcha.
Because somebody's going to think, and rightfully so, that I'm blaming.
Of course.
But what I'm doing is I'm drawing parallels.
I got you.
So if
I'm
I have a high marker here and I have a high marker over there, there may be some correlation, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Now, what we often talk about is causation. Why are black women like that? And almost to the T, black women say, I'm like that because a man didn't do this, or a man did this, or my daddy wasn't there. Blah, blah, blah. These aren't excuses when they say it. These are reasons. But when a black man fails to be what it is that he should be in her mind, and we say these are the reasons why, we're using excuses, right? So that being the case, this strong black independent woman, how is it that she is able to marry and keep a man and be strong black and independent?
She can't. It's a title, y'all. It's a mind game. That's what I've been trying to say. It's all a mind game. We need to stop using that title. We need to burn it. We need to stop acting like this is how it's supposed to be and everything, because it's not. It's not. Like, none of us are independent, period. Men aren't independent either. Let's keep this real. They're not. Because a man needs a strong woman to help him to be who he needs to be. I believe that all the way. I believe in unity.
I totally agree with you. In every culture.
I do, in every culture, and especially the black culture. Because the black man suffers so much. So,
and especially the culture that it needs to be is the culture that it is the least.
Well, yeah. So that's why it's so important.
That doesn't make any sense.
But we have. Well, guess what? We have got to start talking about this stuff, and we got to start holding people accountable for it. We need to get to these kids at a young age and teach them this stuff and break these cycles, because that's why our race is so miserable.
Okay.
That's why we are killing each other.
So not that you don't know this, but let me tell you what's happening in schools.
What's that?
They're building strong black women.
Oh.
And what kind of men are they building in the schools? Right.
Can y'all need some water?
Right. Weak.
But guess what? We have got to start addressing these issues. We can't even just depend on the schools. We have got to have these programs out here where we're not going against each other, where we're coming together as a whole and teaching both sides. You know, these shows, even though people think this is just internet radio and stuff, it's changing some people's lives.
I found out the impact. I found out in the last 2 weeks, and my crew, you guys are fabulous. Because I found out in the last 2 weeks some things from some people who have been tuning into us.
It's important.
That has been I'm like, what has been mind-boggling? I'm talking about from 80-year-old white men to 23-year-old black women who have tuned in and picked up something that we said or did and was like, you know what, I'm with that. Okay, so it does have an impact.
It does.
It's part of an educational profile and program, right? Mm-hmm. So now, and we'll take a station break and bring the rest of the crew so we can get into it a little bit more. But I guess I have a question statement sort of in one. Okay. It is very difficult to repeal the notion of creating a strong black independent woman, especially when, in terms of walking the sidewalk, y'all outnumber us like 87-1. Mm-hmm. You got a problem there, right? Mm-hmm. Unless we get into plural marriages, which we may have. There's not enough men to go around. There's not enough black men to go around.
A lot of women are gay now, so that kind of.
Okay, so that's the other way. That's the other way to balance it out. Okay, so we're gonna balance it out one way or another. If we're gonna have plural marriages,
it's balancing out itself.
Okay,
I'm not trying to knock that.
Right. So every species is gonna find its own way of balancing.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
No, I'm saying, but this is what's happening.
It is what's happening. This is reality.
Okay. So how do we? So it's gonna be very difficult to repeal the notion of creating strong black independent women because we have been on this track for the last 40 years. And
I don't think we've been on the track because I don't think we talk about it. I think that we have hyped it up
for so long. Which made it worse.
No,
because we were doing it unknowingly if we didn't talk about it.
But what I'm saying is it's different now because we're starting to talk about it. You know, it used to be a pride thing to walk around, I'm a strong independent woman, or when they had the songs, the independent woman is a good thing and stuff. That used to be a prideful thing, but now people are starting to talk about it and people are starting to second guess, wait, do I need to look in the mirror at myself? Because why am I miserable? How come I don't have a man? How come I'm this guy calls me and I have a whole list of guys who calls me for booty calls, but that's all they care about me? How come my husband don't stay at home and my husband is always out with somebody else? We need to start asking these questions.
Put a thumbtack right there because we're going to ask the questions when my peoples get on the set. Y'all take a quick, y'all run to the bathroom. We're going to be back in the, Okay, y'all run to the bathroom while I take this phone call, and we're going to take a quick station break. Ron, I am going to remember to put it on green screen, and we're going to go to some David Dyson, and we're going to take a break, and... Rome, can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Awesome. Sit tight. You'll hear some music, and we'll bring you in a few. All right, now we're talking about strong black independent women and the men who love them, and we're going to conversate a little bit about how we do business together.
Absolutely.
All right, sit tight. Thank you, my brother. Much obliged. No, not yet. Okay. Awesome. All right, y'all, let me give you a quick update. We have,
Yes, I can hear you.
Alright, look, I'm walking into a hornet's nest. Alright, go ahead, my dear, bring us back in.
And we're back on the Rolling Grimes show. We are sitting here with his cast, LaTanya, Frankie J. I go really crazy, and the Cupcake Lady. You know about the Cupcake Lady on here?
Girl,
The
you know
Cupcake
that.
Lady. We are discussing the strong black independent woman, and can an alpha male and an alpha female coexist? Roland.
Well, we went into strong black independent women and can they coexist. You all have heard some of the conversation. What say you? Jump in randomly.
I do
Let's talk
believe
about
so. I truly do believe so, considering that I consider myself a strong black female, and I consider my husband as a strong black male. And I mean, everything has its ups and downs, and I mean, I just think if you can work together, it's a great thing. But wow.
Well, the question is, can we work together?
I do believe so.
Okay.
I do believe so.
Frankie?
Yeah, I concur with you. I consider myself a strong black man, my wife a strong black woman, and we coexist in the house because I have moved to the basement.
So are we discussing a strong black, are we talking about the strong black independent? Or are we talking about the alpha male and the alpha male?
So, right,
Now,
the way
I
you
consider
introduced
myself
it,
being
so that,
bossy, so hey, I know I'm not really bossy per se, but I like things my way.
so Michelle,
Yeah.
as you introduced it, you kind of intertwined them, so the responses has an interconnection. So
Okay.
we're gonna go with it.
Okay, because we have two different things going on.
Okay.
Alpha
Okay.
male and the alpha female.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so the question was, can they coexist? Kind of like, I think that's what you guys were saying.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then we also was discussing a strong black independent woman, how it seems like it's only black women to say that. And do we really believe there's such thing as a strong black independent woman? Is that just a title, or is that
No,
really?
you do have some females that are those females that say, "Oh, I don't need a man. I don't need a man for this. I don't need a man for that." And hey, that's all well and good, but you do need a man because
With
Or
the
a
cut
good
the grass.
strong
I mean you need a
vibrator.
strong. Oh God, I don't even know if that would look. I don't even know if that would do the job
Go on,
because
man.
for
Go
one,
on.
you can't conversate with that.
Oh,
You
okay,
can't
hold up.
cuddle.
All right, so here's the
Look.
thing. We're gonna do a little different. I'm gonna referee.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna referee this one. All right, here we go. So you all, I'm gonna take the alpha male role here. I'm gonna do a little refereeing. Coach Tanya, what say you?
An alpha male and an alpha female can coexist. As far as the independent woman, like LaTanya Michelle said, that role just needs to change. We are all raised differently. Everyone wants to be independent, but ultimately you will submit to whoever you want to submit to.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
So that takes away that independence in a way, because you're going to submit to the person you want to be with,
Right.
and that makes you happy.
It's going to be.
I
that
mean,
one
I was
person that will get you-
raised
Yeah.
by majority females.
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather was in the house. My dad was not in the house. But I mean, I have both of my parents. But my mother is a strong woman. Yes, she just so happens to be black. But she was strong, and she raised me to be strong and to take care of myself. So I do have that instilled in myself that yes, why I say I don't need a man, but I do need a man. When I say I don't, it's I can take care of myself. If you're not there, I can make sure my bills get paid.
That's a real good point.
I can make sure my kids get fed. But at the same time, I do still need you. So I am not totally independent of a man or of needing a man within my life, whether it's as you as my best friend or as somebody that I'm in a relationship with. I need a man somewhere in my life to balance that.
Okay.
Or someone you're just growing. Let's keep
That
it
too.
real.
All right. Rome, you there? Rome, can you hear me?
I'm here, brother. What's up?
All right, quick question. Did you hear some of that conversation?
I absolutely did.
Do you can strong black independent women coexist in business with a black man? And if so, how do we do it?
Well, reality is that you want someone who's very strong, and women nowadays have a lot to offer. So I think if both parties would just learn how to coexist and find all of the positives within each other, then they can make a very strong couple. Like my wife and she's a strong black woman, but when we connected, we became one because we both had similar ideas. But now just mending those two together makes you a dynamic couple. So I think there's room for women like that, but they have to be receptive to men who are supposed to be the head of the household the way God ordered it.
So are most strong independent black women receptive to a man taking lead roles in various situations?
No.
No, but one of the reasons why is because they feeling let down by a lot of our men. So they're taking on roles that they shouldn't have to. But I think if they go back to the basics and understand what God has ordered us to do, then they will look for that strong black man to complement them, and so that they can be the helpmate.
All right, so I have a question. Has any black woman ever let down a black man?
Yes.
Why are you?
Answer it for yourself.
Well, okay, so why are you making this? Because see, you sound
making it
like
about
an
his-
angry
Right,
black man.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
This we're not having a discussion on.
No, what I'm hearing is, no, and I may sound like that, so let me, and if that's the case, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Here's a recurring theme. I keep hearing, and Rome just said it, and you all said it, about how black men let down black women, and therefore they take a much more assertive, independent role because they've been let down. Now, the question is, what happens when a black woman lets down a black man?
It happens all the time. Like black men are let down all the time.
Right.
You know, so we're not sitting there saying,
No, Master. So do we take?
Another show.
Yeah.
So do we take the same kind of response as a?
Some of you guys do.
men do.
A lot of you guys
Some
do.
men do.
That's
Okay.
why a lot of men are
Guys say, I don't
hoes.
want to be right. I don't want to just
There's
want
a lot of
one.
that's
They go to
right. Another race.
They go through. Yeah, there's a
Right.
lot of different.
They say they're
it's
the
Or
obvious.
gender.
The pink toes, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because they, are submissive about everything. No.
Well, that's true.
So it's a
I'm
difference.
saying, okay,
He's saying,
I'm gonna have to
he's
say
speaking
it,
from
man.
experience.
Yeah.
It's
In my
a
opinion,
difference.
most white females I dated before I got married, are more submissive.
He said,
than-
baby,
Yeah,
you
than
was
they
black-
lying to
are.
him.
They are.
Women. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. I'm sorry. Although I met some black women who were very submissive after I used some duct tape.
Now,
I'm submissive role for a second. Okay, go ahead.
as you say that, I've dated white women in college and out of college in Syracuse. Now, here was what I found out. None of them were submissive. They were cooperative.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you. High
cool.
five. Break it down.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Go, Bubba.
Because they are into the team. Remember we talked about a team. They just want to win. They don't care how it goes.
Right. How
They
it's
just
being
want to
done.
win.
Right.
So sometimes we care too much about how it goes.
We do, and
Who's
that's
the
our
winner? Who
issues.
has the
We
last
want to
word?
win so much that we sometimes forget that we need to say we did it.
Right.
So what's the danger, Rome, what's the danger in abandoning the need to be the winner at the dinner table, at the business table, in the bedroom and everything else that we interrelate with women, what is the danger with one of us deciding that it's okay that we're not the winner in every situation?
Really, if you do it the right way, there is no danger. The danger only happens when we think of self first instead of we as a team.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
When someone trusts you, and they feel as though they can trust you with their heart and their soul. I mean, and that you're going to come through. That at the end of the day, it's like, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Every time, and you have to pick up the pieces and try to figure out, okay, you know what? If I got to do this by myself, and I'm going to do this by myself.
But question, if you have to do it once out of every 15 times, don't you really feel
we don't say no once out of every 15
don't
times.
you really feel like it's happening to you a whole lot more than what is happening to you?
It may be
That's
more than
wrong.
once out
I'm
of
asking.
15 times.
I'm asking the question.
Let me say this.
No.
You know what? Okay, so this is an angry black man. We need
Right,
counseling.
I tell you, it's a whole other show.
You need your own show.
Well, ask Coach Tanya if I'm angry. Ask Coach Tanya if I'm angry. Ask her.
Calm down.
You really
Calm down.
really need your own show. No, let me say this. I think it's all about. I think what a lot of us has experienced.
Ron, am I angry?
Yes.
Look.
We have
Ron, we ain't even going to talk about that.
What made me angry, Tanya?
whoever she is, whatever her name is.
Look.
Can you come say a sorry to him?
No, I don't think
On
she's
your
gonna do
behalf,
that.
can I say I'm sorry for her? Like I apologize, you know. But you know, I think what's happened is that all of us have had so many bad experiences that we put up this wall because we don't want to go through that again. But yet and still, when we meet that one right person, because all it takes is just that one right person, our whole life changes. Yeah. Things that matter no longer matters. Things that, you know, you don't care about having it your way. Because as long as you and that person is coexisting and you guys are both winning, you're going to win all the time.
And the man has a basement, I'm with that.
And the man has a basement. Shoot, I agree with that. A man should have a basement. A woman should have her own private room.
Right, you should have some
We don't have to be together all the time.
Right.
That's
You need
a
to have
given.
your own
That's a
little
given.
cave.
Your own little
Yeah.
space.
You should
Yeah.
have your little life, and she
Yeah.
should have her
Right,
life
your
to
own
go
space.
out
Right.
and
You know
come
what?
together.
You
Exactly.
do have some men that feel, you have some men and some women that feel once you're together. There's no more, you have your time, he has his
I know, that's
time.
crazy.
Which I totally disagree
That's
with.
crazy.
Because you
That's
need
crazy.
you need that space.
Yeah, you do.
But you have
need
some
space,
that
man.
think
Come on.
once you become one, you're one, and everyone prior to that is no longer existing.
Really?
And that
makes
kills
sense.
But
kills
something
relationships.
happened to that
Exactly.
person in their relationship, you know what I mean, in their life before they even got with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where if you feel as though you have to be with that person all the time, that's monotonous. That's crazy.
It is.
That
You
is
need
crazy.
space. Otherwise,
Yes.
I would be a defender.
That's even if you had siblings. You look, get out of my damn face at some point in time.
You all need your own
I
space.
need,
So now-
I need my own space.
So now you all have touched upon some things over time, and Latanya, you have touched upon them quite a bit in our conversation. We have a community of black folks throughout the country that we're working with and that you're working with. Latanya has done some dynamic things, Rome. You don't know Rome, this is Jerome Lassiter. And make sure
How you doing?
that you friend each other on Facebook when we leave. You'll be glad you did. And Jerome, Latanya talked, she's been involved with some very dynamic people, and even most recently, Les Brown, and some of her communication and some of her doings, they are developing a working relationship, so to speak. And of course, whenever you're around folks like that, who've been to a lot of different places and met a lot of different people, they have perspective that can benefit you. So Latanya has been gracious enough to bring some of that perspective around me, and I do appreciate that. But as we address our community, she said something that scares the heck out of me. And the reason why it scares me because it seems too big for even Big Bubba to tackle, which is us trying to create scenarios and situations, Frank, where black men and black women work cohesively together to build a better union within the United States for black folks. And that if we don't do it, it makes it that much more difficult for us to build a strong nation of black folks, similar to what we see with other cultures.
Yes.
I summarized it, but would you
You
concur?
did very well. I love it.
So,
job.
I'm petrified of this notion because I don't know if I have it in me anymore to keep trying to do that. No, I mean you might be right, but I don't know if I do. And if I do, I'm not sure what it's going to take, but it's not just about me. It's about how do we go about the business. What's step A in this process before we get to Z, Coach T? What's step A, Ramalda, in this process? And Rome, I'm going to start with you while I got you on the phone. We got you a few more minutes. What would you consider to be step A in us building the bridges with black females? It's me, Frank, and Ron. We're going to start with the three of us. That cool with you, Frank?
Yes, sir.
What, Ron, would you suggest would be step A in us being able to start building that bridge with the black female so that we can be a much more cohesive working unit to have the kind of impact in our communities?
I think, first of all, respecting the talent that they have and just having a basic sit down to see what kind of ideas that they have that can help us along with us helping them. So I think the biggest problem is that people don't understand that they have so many strengths, so we focus too much on weaknesses versus our strengths.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick positive. You, me, Mayo, Rob sat down. We had a powwow, correct?
Absolutely.
I would venture to say if one female was in that room when we had our powwow, it would start to disintegrate.
Wow.
Excuse me?
Wow.
Why did you say that?
Can I say something?
And she'll tell you why. LaTanya will tell you why.
You made a comment earlier, and you said, I asked you, would you marry an alpha woman? And you said yes. You said that you don't think it would work, but you could. So you just made a comment earlier that you don't have the hope that you could see this through, but you do have that hope because you do know the power of an alpha woman.
Okay.
And it's only because of the issues that you've had. But remember, all alpha women aren't alike. And remember, I told you that there's a difference in that mind thinking, because all of us alpha women, I wasn't the same alpha woman I was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I would have sat at that table with you and cussed you out and argued with you until I got my way. Now, I don't care about having my way. I care about winning. Just like we sat at this table when we first got here, you heard us beefing, and now you would think that we've been doing stuff together forever. And
Okay.
we haven't.
So if we wait until we reach a maturity level to operate the way you just described, yeah, then we can get stuff done. But when we look at the men and women who look like us, and we measure their maturity level, regardless of age, to be able to coexist and to balance out like you just mentioned, the numbers are very, very small.
That's why you teach.
You have to teach them.
That's why you have to teach them.
Okay.
You have to, especially women. We really, women are the ones who need the help now. I always thought it was the brothers, but it's the women, because
Okay.
we are the.
Do other women agree with you? And if they do, who are they?
Yeah,
No, man.
to me.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not telling you that I disagree. I'm asking you. Do other women agree with you? And if so, who are they?
I think that there's some that agree with me, and that's why I
Have you
made
met
an
'em?
effort. I have met some.
Okay.
I have met some, and that's why I made an effort to change what I do so I can go out and do my part in this. That's why, one of the things that Les Brown told me, he was like, you need to speak to females too.
Okay.
And so it's so important that I'm learning every day.
Okay.
I still got an attitude. I still got a temper. You still can get cussed out in a
All right.
heartbeat.
So
let's make sure that we
right.
know
So you
this.
can flip, right?
Oh,
so
I can flip it.
I'm
I think it is with women, a lot of women, we take on so much.
Why?
It's our nurturing
Because we
aspect.
think that's what we're
And we
supposed to
think
do.
that that's what we're supposed to
think.
do.
Right. That's the way we were raised,
take on
that it
so
has to be
much
done.
that it takes a
think.
while for us to come to the realization that, hey, I need to look at myself to see what I need to change that will maybe better myself and make this situation work.
But do you have to come to that conclusion within
Yes.
yourself, or can a man help you to see that?
A man can help you.
Will you allow a man to help you to see
The
that?
right man.
The right man.
I think it takes both, though. You have to.
You have to want it. You have to want it to happen,
and to allow.
Because if it's Mr. Right, then everything works out good, right?
Most of the time, you don't
Sometimes
know.
you can shut Mr. Right out also.
because you don't know he's Mr. Right at that time.
It could be your best friend.
Right.
Okay.
It could be someone that shows that they care about you.
Okay.
Because that's all we
But
lack.
whomever it is you're receptive to can help you see that. Okay.
Exactly. You
So
gotta
now-
have respect for that person.
So now, Ramal, Coach Tanya, why did I say if a female was in that powwow meeting with the fellas, it would have disintegrated right from the top? Why did I say that?
Only thing I'm thinking is that because you got all these alpha males that want to be in charge and trying to see, I guess, you know how they say males are like hunters. So I'm thinking that they're trying to figure out which one is going to talk to her.
Okay. Coach Tanya, any idea? Why it would have disintegrated?
No, because I don't think it would have.
Okay. Frank, any idea?
Well, brother, I tell you like this. It's good to talk about trying to work with a alpha woman, but nothing is ever 50-50, ever. Someone has to
That is
have
true.
that 51.
That is true.
And I still say that has to be the man. So when I say that,
Wait a minute.
see,
Repeat that.
exactly.
Wait a minute.
See, here we go. It's
No, it's
beginning
just-
to
it's just a
disintegrate already.
No, it wasn't just a why. It was
Right,
why.
right.
Disintegrate already.
Elongated why.
Exactly. See what I'm saying?
So ask him why. Say, Frank, why?
Why?
We did. We lied.
No, that's not why. That's not how you
Frank,
said
Frank,
why.
why do you feel as though males have to have 51%?
Why?
Yes.
Because we're men.
What does
See?
that have to do with
Are
anything?
you an alpha male?
Yes. Of course, come on. But there's never always 50-50 because you can't have 50-50.
But
When
what
it's a
if
log
what
hen
if
and
it's-
someone has to make a decision, I still believe the man has to make the decision.
Well, it depends, considering that
I
and
agree.
what you're making the decision on. Because I may have more experience on a situation to be able to give you a better insight of what we're making a decision on. You may, it depends on what the situation is, because you may have a better understanding or more experience in the situation, and I may go with what you're saying because I understand where you're coming from, but it depends on the
I
situation.
believe the man gets the final say so.
Thank
whether,
you.
Whether,
See?
whether,
Thank
whether
you.
the woman knows the
Thank
more
you.
information,
I'll be
if
here
you're
all
going to
week.
be in a relationship with someone, I think that there's roles that you do need to take. This is just me. This is just Tanya speaking. And Lord knows I have changed. So
I'm still going to work on that
So,
path.
so I'm going to say this. I do believe that if you're going to take on a role and be with a man, that he does have the final say so. But you don't just be with any man. That's why you have to be with someone that you trust and that you know that's got your back.
No,
that if he say, let's go rob a bank, you know that
Like, you know
if
what?
something
Hell
happens,
no,
But-
I'm
he's got
sorry.
you.
I'm
But
sorry.
if you
no.
have a great idea, although I may disagree, but you have a great idea, I would probably implement that idea. I'm not,
He should
Right,
respect
it depends
you.
on
Exactly.
the
He's gonna
situation. Right, I'm
respect
just saying it just depends on the situation.
That great man is
Yeah.
going to respect
Right.
you anyways.
But-
and
Right.
you're going to get your way most of the time
Right.
anyway.
Now,
Exactly.
see, here's the thing. In other cultures, they don't have to have that dance. In other cultures, they are fitted. They are protocoled into how things are going to operate. Asian women know.
exactly.
Right. Jewish women know.
Exactly.
Italian women know.
Exactly.
Did you say
Right.
American?
Black women,
You
hell
said-
no.
But
Say
you said
American.
American, right? You said other ethnicity.
I said
That-
other
Other
cultures.
Cultures,
yes.
yes.
Other ethnicities. That's
Right,
it's the difference
other
because they're not Americanized.
No,
we are
American.
American.
I'm talking. No,
I mean, you know what I'm saying. As far as
We don't have a lot of
other
examples of
nationalities is
relationships
different.
anyway.
well, I'm just saying though. So when you take a Asian American female, more often than not, she's cultured a certain way.
Right.
She's cultured from the jump on how this is going to work, and so is the boy that she's going to end up marrying, and she doesn't even meet till she's 21.
Right.
He's cultured the same way. In the black household and the black community, we're not cultured to fit one another.
Right.
We're cultured almost the opposite. We're cultured almost to be combative and competitive with one another.
How often do you see in a black culture, how often do you see a husband and a wife and
Together,
kids in the
right.
same house?
Right.
For them
Again.
to be cultured to anything.
Again, and part of the reason why we're not in the same house is because we're combative with each other because we've been cultured that way. Right? Wrong? Maybe? What you think?
Or the fact that, let's keep this real. Come on, let's keep this real.
Okay, we have a
How
couple
many
minutes
of us
to keep it
got
real.
kids with people that we don't know? We don't know them. We laid down. We was horny, and
Okay.
we had kids, And we take care of our kids, and hopefully they take care of the kids and stuff. But honestly, we don't know. Nobody taught us about being friends with these mates or getting to know these people. We were taught, he looks good, she looks good, let's be together, let's be in a relationship, let's have good sex, and let's keep that going.
Okay.
That's what we were taught.
And that builds a relationship.
And that builds our relationship. But yet and still, that's not a relationship.
I got you. But
So that's why our divorce rate is so high.
Okay.
That's why we have so many issues in the black races, because we're going by what we saw.
Right.
Good. And we're repeating that
And
behavior.
we're repeating the cycle.
Right.
Okay.
And if we don't stop that,
All right,
And you know how they say
Rome, you
girls
still
meet
there?
fathers that meet husbands like their
Rome,
dad.
you still there? Did I lose
exactly.
No, I'm still here.
you? Okay, so now, one of the reasons why I said, getting back to that before we close up with Rome, is that meeting would have disintegrated, right? Partly because I went to all boys high school, and I saw how males get things done when it's just males. And then I saw when one female comes in, how the dynamics of how even the men deal with each other changes.
They would turn on each other.
Because we all of a sudden start becoming very self-conscious.
I tell you that they're
That's
hunters.
y'all
You all are
roles. That's what
hunters.
you
You all
guys'
are
job
meant
is.
to be.
Y'all are based off of
who wants to be
female.
the alpha male.
Y'all are based
So-
off of pleasing a female no matter what
Right.
situation, whether
And-
it's your son, whether it's your man. That's what you guys were created
Okay,
to do. To
and
please
see,
a
y'all
female.
just alpha female me because y'all jump right into the conclusion of something that I
I
was
knew
raising.
you
No,
were
no,
saying
don't
that.
apologize. I just wanted you to be hip to it.
That's
all right.
right.
So what I was doing was sharing with you the scenario, and you already went to the conclusion, put the exclamation point, the period behind the damn thing. All right. So Rome, now I want you to differ. I want you to offer a differing opinion of it than what I just gave. However, what I'm saying is, it has been my custom and my experience that when a female walks into a room when men are handling their business, that it changes that black woman changes now white woman.
It depends on
Eh.
if they like a white woman. Then it's a whole
If we
nother
like a
story.
white woman, still she sits right in the corner, right? Or she sits on the outskirts of the meeting, right? She takes oftentimes a little different approach because that's what she's accustomed to. My point is, Rome, anyway, if let's say they were sitting in that meeting, one sister walked in while we're having that powwow, could we have been able to have the kind of conversation that we had? Would we have been able to have the kind of conversation we had?
It would have been difficult only because her input and her personality would have maybe conflicted, but it could have been a positive as well. But I understand where you're coming from because I think that meeting was just for us as males. So at that particular moment, that was just a male conversation. But I think the right woman could have made that a good impact.
Okay. So as we close, brother, would it make sense sometimes for us to get together and huddle among each other, find a consensus, and then sit down with the sisters, and then we're talking as one, and Frank is nodding his head.
Yes, I agree with that.
Does
Great
that seem like a
idea.
decent game plan?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
ladies, we just came up with a suggestion for a game plan moving forward. And you don't have to answer now, but we're just going to throw it out there. Would it be okay with you all if we did a trial and error where the men huddled together and we came up with a consensus and then met with you so that we spoke on one accord and then met with you and then brought your input into what it is that we need to do moving forward as a community? How's that sound? That's a strategy.
That's fine.
That's good.
Sounds okay?
Yeah.
You wouldn't feel like the men have teamed up against you.
I wouldn't. No.
No.
Awesome. Rome, man, we solved all the world's problems, man. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to get back to you in a flash, man. Stay black, brother. We'll be in touch.
All right, stay blessed.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Rome.
Man, that was awesome. Okay, I'm going to grab the phone. Coach Tanya, Mamalda, Frank, y'all take over for a minute.
Yes, sir.
I have to make a quick phone call.
So, ladies,
Yes.
how was your weekend?
Very good.
It was
Good.
great. Very peaceful.
Yes. I
Very
had
peaceful.
2 of my boys home for Thanksgiving. My oldest son, he cooked. I helped him.
What?
But he cooked pretty much majority of the Thanksgiving dinner, so
Get
it went
out.
really well. So that was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you, my dear?
Well, actually, my mom fixed dinner, and it was really nice. And I enjoyed being with her this week, you know, for the holidays and whatnot, and my 2 daughters. And it was really great. It was really
Wow.
great.
How was yours?
Well, ever since Donald Trump has been elected president, my entire time I have been on my computer looking for an online tutorial on how to pick cotton. So, you know, Donald Trump kept his word. He says, I'm going to bring the jobs back. But I didn't know that the jobs were that far back.
He's so silly.
Just saying, man.
All right,
And
we're
then
going to.
Roland,
Yes, ma'am.
Roland,
Talk
also
to me.
this weekend, I just have, I have to bring my kids in all
Please
the time.
do bring your kids in.
The Waldorf Wildcats, what age?
11 and under?
No, one team they went to Cincinnati,
Okay.
and they came out the Midwest champions. I believe that was the 9U team.
Very nice. Very nice.
The 10U team, they won the 4th annual Turkey Bowl that was held here in
Oh, wow.
Virginia.
Wonderful.
And one of our other teams, the 12U team, they also won. So the Waldorf Wildcats, their football team did the thing this
Man,
weekend.
they did the thing. And that's a great segue. I'm sorry, Frank. You were
I
gonna say
just
something?
got a tweet from Donald Trump. He says,
no,
comedian
he
Frankie J, your name is now Toby.
Oh, Jesus. No, you didn't.
Toby.
Yes,
Right,
Toby.
Toby.
He's a-
My name Toby now.
Kuta
What the hell?
Toby. Kuta Toby, hold
Yeah.
tight. That's a great
Oh,
segue.
my
So the
God.
Waldorf
Waldorf
Wildcats.
Wildcats.
I can't say that. Say that twice. Waldorf
Waldorf
Wildcats.
That's a tongue twister.
Are-
Say it
are-
5 times.
are getting
Say
it
5
in.
times.
Now, Duzane Bland.
Yes, sir.
So we understand that the Waldorf Wildcats are just hungry for victories in the middle of Maryland, but on the NFL side of things, say hi to Duzane.
Hey, Dujane.
On the NFL side,
Duzane.
on the NFL
How y'all
side,
doing? How y'all doing?
on the NFL side of things, man. Briefly, man, tell me what you've learned from this season so far that you did not expect to happen once this thing
Cowboys is
kicked
number
off.
1.
I tell you the first thing, I'm gonna have to say, every team that we think is top or elite or Super Bowl contenders all have flaws. There is not a team that is a Super Bowl contender that is not flawless or just locked to make it to the Super Bowl. So that's one thing I've learned. And two, Cowboys thing is not a surprise. If you go back, sportsjourney.com, and you read the article I wrote in August on the Dallas Cowboys, the exact thing they're doing right now, I wrote about the formula that was needed for them to win, and they're executing that formula now. That was with Romo in the equation, but Dak Prescott's doing an excellent job, and Rob Marinelli deserves a lot of credit for doing a lot with very little.
Now, what were some of the elements of that formula?
Well, it's what you see, although they didn't execute that against the Washington Redskins, but most of the season they have been winning time of possession. They're running the football well and not turning it over, which in turn allows their defense to be well rested. They're getting up on teams, so the defense is just knowing that the opposition is not going to run the ball that much. They're passing because they're behind, and it puts their defense in a prime position to not have to defend too much, makes a team one-dimensional, and really plays right into the hands of the skill set that they have.
Now, wouldn't that be the formula for pretty much any winning team?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
They're lunch pail kids. Those guys just bring it to work every day.
I got you.
They're not special in every facet of the game. Even if you look at the game last night, defensively in between the 20s, they were giving up the yards,
Right,
but when they
right.
get inside the red zone, they stiffen up really well.
Right.
Alex Smith didn't do a very good job in the first half. I think he was like 5 of 12 for 26 yards. In the second half, he came out and lit it up and got some touchdowns, was more effective in the passing game. So,
Okay. So I'm
not
gonna-
every team has the same formula.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out to you, and I'm going to throw this around the table. This is what I surmise. That the NFL has decided a long time ago that teams that were sorry last year, like the Cowboys, are going to have a schedule. You know where I'm going. Going to have a schedule full of softies the next year.
Right.
And the teams that did well last year, like the Redskins, are going to have a much stronger schedule the following year. Now, pretty much division games are going to be a toss-up many times. And, of course, they also have this formula where essentially you play a lot of the teams in the same division. So, the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Cowboys all play the Browns. But there's always like those 2 or 3 teams that have that upper echelon record from the year before that the upper echelon teams are going to face, and the teams that didn't do so well last year, when you look at their season, like the Redskins last year, the Redskins didn't beat one team with a winning record. So I ask you this, how many teams this year outside of the division have the Cowboys beat that have a winning record? Any idea?
I would say maybe 1 or 2, but that's kind of an unfair thing to say, though.
Oh, it's good. I like being unfair. Tell me why.
It's unfair because it's Dallas. Is that what it is?
No.
No, he's impartial.
I'm gonna back you up on that because see, I heard Dallas fans. Now that y'all gloating, I heard Dallas fans last year when the Redskins won a division say this exact same thing. They don't have a choice they don't have a choice that they were complete scudge buckets the year before, and because of that scudge bucket record, they are beating the teams that are in front of them. Now, as the schedule has gone on, they have faced a few more teams that have a better record now. I mean, you look around the league, it's not too many winning teams, and some of these divisions are at 500 or below. But they are beating the teams that are in front of them. And I think every week I've seen people from the media every week say, when they got to Pittsburgh, oh, this is it, it's over. When they got to the Baltimore Ravens, who I picked them to win against, oh, it's over. And they've met the challenges. It's I mean, have they? If you look at the overall, have they won against a lot of teams with winning records? No, but they are only playing the schedule that the NFL gives them. And just like the Washington Redskins, they did the exact same thing. Were the division winners last year, and Dallas is definitely going to be the division winner this year.
Okay, real quick. Who are some of your disappointments? Who are some of your major surprises?
Disappointments? I'm going to first start in the nation's capital, and I know my disappointment doesn't lie on the offensive side of the ball. It lies on the defensive side of the ball. And I say that because you look at the game on Thanksgiving, Redskins win time possession, and they pretty much beat Dallas in every category with the exception of running, and all they had to do was stop someone, and it's like, someone with a bad case of dysentery. Pepto-Bismol couldn't even stop the leaks that was on that defense. As soon as the Redskins would score, they go right down, and they immediately allowed a score. So their defense, the Browns, to a degree, are a disappointment, and it's it's not nothing against Hugh Jackson. I think Hugh has done an excellent job with the cards he's been dealt. A lot of people left that team on the offense and defensive side of the ball, and they haven't had a lot of cohesiveness just because of they're starting a new quarterback every week because somebody's getting hurt.
Talking about the Browns.
That's been yes, but that's been difficult. But there's still a disappointment with the talent that they have. They should at least have 1 or 2 wins in this division.
Is this brother going to end up with a winless season?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And what's going to happen to him? Is he going to get Charlie Stronged?
He better not, but I don't think so. I think they understand that everything is I think the Browns understand that everything's a process, and you can't possibly expect this guy to come in with the cards that he was dealt. You have all these big time players on both the offense and defensive side of the ball, especially the offensive line, that just bailed ship and left them with a lot of young pieces, unproven pieces, and they look they don't put together full games yet, but
they do play you tough. And if you go in there thinking you're going to roll the helmets in because it's the Browns, the Giants almost got a wake-up call this weekend when it comes down to that.
Yeah, the Browns will hit you in the mouth. All right, folks, before I let my man go, any thoughts, comments, or questions about the NFL season right now, things that you may that are gnawing at you?
Only thing I like about the Cowboys is the quarterback. So,
you're a Dak man.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's cool. I mean, otherwise, I'm a diehard Redskin fan, but I think he's a good quarterback.
And I think you're cool.
I have to agree with you there, though. Dak is a cool customer, and he's really not the what the Dallas Cowboys like as far as from their quarterback, the fanfare, the kind of cockiness, the criminalism. He's definitely outside of the norm.
Okay.
I think it's good.
I can't take too much more Dallas Cowboys. Does anybody else have anything?
But it is what it is.
Right.
Do you want to talk about the Eagles?
Yes, let's talk about the Eagles. Are we going to get our ring next year?
Are the Eagles going to get their ring next decade?
Year. Not next decade.
Are they going to the thrift store to get a ring?
We got like 75 seconds. Fundamentally, what is wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think I've talked about this, and me and another Teron Davenport from USA Today, who covers the Eagles, we've had several conversations. And the biggest issue I see with the Eagles is that their receivers don't play big. And you saw it in a couple games that they lost in this losing streak. Is that I want to see more from Darrell Green Beckham, Jordan Matthews. I want to see those guys go up and get balls, be dominant, be physical with the corners, and take balls out of the air. They're getting dominated a lot of times at the point of attack and going up and getting the ball. And they have a quarterback right now that can deliver. So if these guys step up and play with a better attitude and with a stronger attitude, I think that we could see them, do a lot better and have won more games. But they're going in the right direction, though.
So do you think it's because of the newness of them playing together? Do you think like next year we'll actually have a chance?
Maybe they'll gel
I think so. I think the newness is part of it. But next year they're going to be able to have a few more pieces they can get together on defense. And you have to love what Doug Peterson brings to the table, and I think he's done that pretty much everywhere. He does an excellent job working with quarterbacks, and I know for myself, I didn't think it was a great idea to start Carson Wentz, but right out of the gate, he's been very well prepared. He's been smooth. He's delivered in every situation that he could possibly be in. He needs help from his wide receivers and from those guys on the outside. If he can get that help on a consistent basis, this NFC East division is going to be very, very strong from top to bottom.
I like you again.
All right, for those of you who are meeting him for the first time, Dujanay is one of and actually is my chief NFL insider expert. As he mentioned, some of the people that he's in communication with throughout the world of media. He really has his finger on the pulse.
He's awesome.
And he is awesome. And as I let you go, man, I have my son out there, Brandon Coleman, and I know that he's had some up and down plays and moments this year. So I just I'll talk to you about him again next week when we wrap, and hopefully he'll grab 75 touchdowns next week and we can have this conversation.
So when do we get to meet DJ in person?
He's in Florida. So
No, I know that. I'm saying when are you coming up here, or when are we taking a trip to visit you?
When is Mama expecting to see you, man?
Oh man, it probably won't be until next year.
Next year ain't but 6 weeks away.
I know.
Exactly.
Probably next summer. We're actually got a lot of stuff in the works right now. Just busy with this season, with the show and articles and just stuff around here. I won't be able to get up there before the end of the season.
Now I know what his real problem is. He can't bring his tailor up here with him.
That.
The brother dresses like a monster.
We got to check for you up here now. Okay.
You'll find him on Facebook. We'll take care of that. I got to call Ronnie Laws' people. We're going to rock, man. Talk to you a little bit, babe.
See you, Deuce.
All right, man. Peace, my boy.
Good night, guys. Good night.
All right, one last quick phone call. We're going to talk to
Is
Doctor.
that who been blowing your phone up?
Not necessarily. I said I would call him, so they gave me the number.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. All right, this past weekend, Frankie, and you saw it, we had the distinct pleasure of going to see Mr. Mousy Thompson.
Yeah, I saw that, man. The James Brown Experience.
Slim, and they were cranking.
I know that's right.
Yes, they were.
Papa got a brand new bag.
We normally get passes, but the show was sold out.
Oh, man.
We only
So
had
had to-
2 passes, and they stuck me in the corner. Yeah, that
Oh,
was a
wow.
good thing. Real good thing. It was awesome. So, this is one of the members of the band. As we have this pregnant pause, y'all couldn't talk about something.
Oh, okay.
Pride.
Oh, there you go.
This Rolling Grimes from the Rolling Grimes.
I was hanging out with my
Man,
boys last
we're gonna
night.
talk to you.
Tony
For a couple
Woods.
minutes.
You guys know Tony Woods? Of course you do.
No problem.
Yeah, we're having a good time, man. Mr. Crazy. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Tony Woods.
All right, Frankie J.
That's right.
Man, y'all had a heck of a weekend with comedy, man. I love it.
Yes.
Dr. Gilbert Pryor, how are you, sir?
Hey, sir, I'm doing well, and you?
Awesome. When we say Dr. Gilbert Pryor, can you qualify for the people what doctor means?
Yeah, I earned my degree, doctoral in educational leadership. So I'm Dr. Pryor and in education, which means I'm qualified to do a whole lot of things, I guess. They just haven't paid me off just yet, but I call myself the doctor of the boogie sometimes, the funk and the boogie.
Okay.
He's not in the Okay. Oh, we're getting ready for the next show, so I was trying to check on some things. So you have the distinct pleasure of working with some wonderful ensembles, man, and you just did some work with a good friend of ours this weekend. Tell us about it.
Oh, yeah, man. I've had the pleasure of working with Greg Cooper, Mousy Thompson, and Lenny Harris, and a whole bunch of other brothers, Busey and a whole bunch of cats, man, that I kind of grew up with. And now in these later years, I get opportunities to hit the stage with them, and I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
Did you get a chance to play this weekend?
Yeah, we played this weekend. We did the James Brown review experience with Mousy at the Bethesda Jazz and Blues Club. And it was a sold-out house, man, and Greg Cooper turned the joint out, man. He turned it out.
So Greg Cooper is essentially a James Brown impersonator.
What?
And I
missed
I
that?
have it on film.
Oh, yeah, let me see that,
And
buddy.
the joke was, I mean, he was, from all
Did
for real.
you know the other
Yes,
impersonator
sir.
just recently passed? His name was Little Royal.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Did you know Little Royal, Mousy?
No, this is
this
Gilbert.
is fine. Yeah, but I'm quite familiar with Lil Royal. I never had the opportunity to play with him, but yes, I'm quite familiar with him.
He just
and know
recently
that he's
passed.
one of the staples, staples of soul and R&B as well.
Awesome. So, Doctor, we were running behind because we had some technical difficulties earlier, but we cleaned them up enough just to get you on. We're going to have another conversation with you in short order. I probably will give you a call next week, depending upon how things go, so we can talk a little bit more about the need for music education, especially among the younger generations, and what we can do to help advance the cause of music and arts in our community, especially among students of African American youth. Is that cool with you?
Hey, man, anytime. I'd be more than happy to share my wisdom, man, and my viewpoint on things. So, yeah,
Awesome.
I welcome the call, and I'll
Great.
be prepared for you.
Awesome. Hey, folks,
Fantastic.
we're going to sign out. Roland Bubba Grimes here on the Roland Grimes Show with Coach Tanya,
Bye.
LaTanya Michelle, Robalda Riskins, Cupcake Lady,
Have a good night.
and Frankie J in the house.
Yeah, hey, my name's Toby now.
All right, folks, we love you. Got to get ready for Haki, the Success Scholar. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Oh, boy.
This right here is